Yo, what's up guys? So you might have remembered a while back we made a really insane video on a really great Karakuri deck that basically established a board that was almost unbeatable in most circumstances. Well, unfortunately, due to, of course, the ban list, we don't have access to Block Dragon or O-Line for this, but we've got a new updated insane Karakuri deck that I wanted to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. So first off, the board that you'll be making is one of those insane boards, but it only requires you to basically have one card, which is Despot 003, to go ahead and get started. Now, you don't have to have that one specific card in order to pull off this combo every time. There are multiple variations of being able to wombo combo your opponent. It's just like, if we're talking about one card combo, that's the one card combo. But there are other ways that you can play around hand traps, depending on if you're going to use Iron Call or some of the other Karakuri cards, which we'll get into when we go ahead and hop right into the deck profile. So it does go ahead and utilize one of the newer synchro cards that Karakuris have had access to more recently, which is Buribu. So Buribu has this awesome ability to go ahead and bring out another monster, just like most of the Karakuris. But on top of that, you're going to be able to go ahead and banish a card. So if you happen to go second with this deck, you can still do a lot of disruptions to your opponent. Granted, you're more than likely going to either need Droplet, Impermanence, or something to negate your opponent's stuff from negating your combos from going off. But Iron Call allows you to go ahead and play through another hand trap. We also have the Gamma Oil over here, which lets you go ahead and kind of extend your combo even further. So with this combo over here, you guys already know what True King of All Calamities does. He says no monsters, and then with Venturi Beast, that's no spells. And then on top of that, you also have Long Long, which is an additional negate. On top of that, you can search out the Cash In, which is another form of disruption in two different forms. You get to not only negate one card that your opponent has, but then you get to change the battle position of the Karakuri, and when you do that, Buribu over here is going to be able to go ahead and banish another card. And that's basically the main core combo of the deck. Now, we still have to have multiple cards. There was no Pot of Greeds shown, and Karakuris do have their own form of Pot of Greed, which we'll get into when we go over the deck profile. But man, this deck is so cool, Quackens. I gotta give him a huge shout out for building this deck. But let's go ahead and hop right into the deck profile. I'll kind of explain some of the certain things that you can do in this deck and some of the other cards that you might want to go ahead and run. So here is the deck profile. So just for ease, because it's much easier if you guys are playing on any Yu-Gi-Oh game, to type in the Karakuris by their number instead of the name, it's way faster. So for example, I'm just going to call them by the numbers. So for example, this is 9763. So if we type in like 9763, there's only going to be one card. Like, it's so much easier versus typing in Karakuri and then like trying to find the right one, because there's a lot in them. But I mean, if you're just going over the build, then I guess you can just right click on them and it might be faster anyways. But just for the sake of the deck profile, I'm going to call them by their numbers. So we have 3 copies of the Bones 9763. We have 1 copy of 313. We have 3 copies of our Despot 003, 3 copies of 224, and then we have 3 copies of 177. And we have 3 copies of 96, 2 copies of the Despot 001, and then 3 copies of 4624. And that's going to round up our monsters. Now, I did mention that, like, if you want to pull off the 1 card insane combo, that's going to be with the Despot. However, there are other cards that you can utilize if maybe something gets negated, your opponent has a hand trap, or if you want to even throw in Droplet, you can make great use out of Iron Call, bringing back some of the monsters that you got rid of. So here's what we got for other cards that can extend our combos. So we have Machine Duplication, we have Iron Call, we also happen to have the Gamma Oil, and depending on the right circumstances, Cash Shed could be another card that, as long as they don't negate and destroy the monster, you can maybe try to extend your combo. It kind of depends on if you're able to get rid of cards in your hand as well, which I kind of want to get into. But we've also got, Upstart Goblin here for more consistency. But yeah, 3 Machine Dupe, 3 Iron Call, 1 Upstart. Then we have 3 copies of Cash Shed. We got Reborn and Called by the Grave. So these are, again, 2 more kind of extenders, or if your opponent happens to have a hand trap, obviously you can call it by the grave. And then 3 copies Anatomy over here, which is really great. It lets you go ahead and place a counter on it, and then it's kind of the Pot of Greed in the deck's archetype. It almost reminds, maybe you have like 6 Sam United, if you kind of want to think of it like that. Like, you gotta basically get them out. Most of the Karakuris will change their position, so it's really not that big of a deal. And then again, Gamma Oil is going to go ahead and be able to extend your combos, but if the battle position of a Karakuri monster you control change, change, the equipped monster gains extra stats. It's usually not relevant unless you really need to get over something that has like large attack, and for whatever reason you can't like get rid of it by another means. And then we have the cash in. Unfortunately, I really wish this was a counter trap card, but it's not. But yeah, it lets you go ahead and change the position of a Karakuri, and then you get to negate an effect monster, and then you'll get like another bonus of it, because that's kind of how the Karakuri archetype works, because you can be able to change it. But you can also banish it and then change another monster's battle position, so there's another bonus to it, but it's usually only used for that turn 1 huge play. Now, other cards that I can suggest if you guys want to go ahead and have more success with this deck going second, things like Droplet. I'll just go and type in, like, Droplet can be great because you get to send some cards to the graveyard, therefore Iron Call will have extra access. Also think that Dark Ruler No More is a fantastic card in just any Yu-Gi-Oh deck, or you can even throw in like the Giant Rock. Although sometimes, unfortunately, Giant Rock does get negated, so Dark Ruler might be a little bit better, because if you're able to go ahead and stop everything and then just go off, it doesn't really matter that your opponent, isn't going to be taking damage this turn, because they're not going to be able to Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the point of this insane Karakuri deck. But anyways, those are just some other suggestions that I can give for you guys if you guys are interested in, again, having more successful turn 2 play. You could even squeeze in a Super Poly. You basically need everything in the extra deck minus like maybe 2 cards. I mean, you could definitely swap out this, but like just being able to disrupt like those insane boards that your opponent makes can help out quite a bit. But yeah, those are my suggestions. Anyways, next up though, we have 3 copies of the Baribu. This is the newer Karakuri, and then we have the classic synchros like Barredo over here. So 3 Buribu, 3 Barredo, 3 copies of Bure, and then we have 1 copy of Naturia Beast because this card is absolutely amazing. I'm surprised that this card has lasted this long on the list. I know a lot of people actually wanted this card just to go away because it's really oppressive to deal with both of these. Like, a lot of people want this card gone too. I think anything that has like basically no Yu-Gi-Oh-ing for that turn, especially like Numerons, heck, that is still seeing some play. It's just frustrating, and I get it. And if you happen to have extra extenders, like the main goal of the deck is to open up with these 2. This one was more of a bonus if you happen to have an extender, whether it is the Cash Shed over here to go and grab another monster, Iron Call, or Machine Dupe will give you like enough monsters to go ahead and make what you need to go ahead and make. But this is just another disruption, and if you go ahead and have like another like extender, and you do happen to have this, I mean, if they Droplet, that's like 4 cards out of their hand, and that could be significant. And on top of that, if you happen to surprise them with a Cash In to negate another effect, they're just going to be at a loss, because that's like 5 cards at that point. And I think that just might be too much for majority decks to deal with getting rid of like all of these the following turn. So yeah, but this card over here, this is number 45 over here. It does have some potential to go ahead and target it and then negate its effects. It's more for, I guess, kind of going second. But pretty much I would suggest really Dark Ruler No More. Again, just because it's a little bit harder to disrupt than, again, some of the other Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like the Rock can get negated halfway through the plays. But that's the deck profile, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you are new here and you do want to go ahead and check out more new Yu-Gi-Oh content in the future, and maybe we'll make an updated build when Karakuri gets some more support later down the line. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll catch you on the next video. Have a good one, and I'm signing out. Peace.